Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast, where we dive into the wild world of wrestling, the only sport where threatening a child can make you the most beloved face in the business. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of wrestling storylines, analyze jaw-dropping matches, and speculate wildly on who's going to turn heel next. Get ready for a ringside seat to the excitement and absurdity of wrestling with us every week.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 12 of the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. I'm your main host Mike, that's Mike GWP on Twitter, and I'm going to let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Dan, DanWellKC on Twitter. Slightly less shit weekend, not because of Wolves, but because I was ill on Sunday, hence why we didn't record.
I am Dav GWP on Twitter, and I'm fucking knackered.
I'm Andy. I wasn't on Twitter for a week. I was in jail, but I'm back.
And I'm Wrestling Mark, and Rob Schneider is a cunt.
Yeah, I just seen that. Fucking, it's always the people that I used to like Rob Schneider's stuff like years ago.
He's a fucking dead.
Yeah, it's a shame that these people that you thought that you liked at some point all turn out to be horrible cunts.
Yeah, he doesn't surprise me. He's very anti-vax. He's an alt-right conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
Who's very, very like Trump heavy. Basically, he's the film industry's Disco Inferno.
Yes.
He's literally the
shit
same
haircut.
thing with a
He
shit
is, like,
haircut.
he was to Disco Inferno to the Wolfpack, and well, to Scott Hall is essentially what Rob Schneider was to Adam Sandler for his entire career.
Comparing Adam Sandler to Scott Hall, there's a bit of a disparity there.
I don't
I mean,
like. I'm not a big Adam Sandler person at all. I didn't mind his earlier few films, but he's an absolute bellend as well.
He just took him along for the ride, didn't he? Like, he was like, "Oh, look, you're a bit shit. No one's really asked about you, but if you can just turn up in one of my films and just say you can do it in the background, and that'll sort you out for a few months."
He did it without, like, Steve Buscemi was in all of his films as well, weren't they? Like, he just had there was 7 or 8 people that would just constantly rock up in his early stuff when it was quite funny.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, he's the one credit I will give Adam Sandler is he's the epitome of jobs for the boys.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Every film he's in, all his mates are in.
he can actually act as well, which is mad. Like, like when he's in stuff that's not like comedy, and I find most of the comedies he's done probably in the last 15, maybe 20 years shite.
yeah.
When he's in a serious movie, he can actually act as well, which is actually
There's a film called Click that I really liked. He was in.
Well, the one with the remote control where he stops time and all that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Style, and I thought that was quite a good film. And it's not like a stupid comedy either. Like it's his early stuff, like Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore,
The Wedding Singer. Oh, it's a great movie.
The Longest Yard, just because of
and
the ensemble cast of wrestling characters on that.
We missed a segue there with Happy Gilmore and MJF.
Yes. So MJF is going to be who in Happy Gilmore? Is he going to be? Someone said he's going to be Shoot McGavin's son.
I don't know if anyone was it said. I just said I just saw he was going to be in it. I wasn't sure if it was.
Yeah, I think someone was just probably putting 2 and 2 together and getting 73. But yeah, they said he's going to be Shoot McGavin's son.
What would be really poetic is if instead of MJF going for the driver in the golf cart, he hits the Tiger Driver instead.
Oh my God, yeah. I want him to pull out the driver and it just be a tiger and him to go, Tiger! Driver!
Do you remember a while ago, AEW, didn't they trademark something to do with golf? Something to do with like a shooting range or something. I'm sure they did something, and everyone's wondering what kind of a stipulation match it was going to be.
Was it not for something on the game?
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah.
AEW Golf trademark.
I think
Fairway to Hell. That's what it was.
Yeah.
In June, they trademarked Fairway to Hell.
Was that going to be like a the Jericho Cruise, but on like a golf course or something?
It sounds about right.
I think it's going to be
Hangman and Swerve's next match.
It probably would, yeah. Fucking, he's gonna fucking tie Swerve up and fucking fire golf balls at him for half an hour. 5 stars.
speaking of Swerve Hangman, just dead quick, it wasn't one of the topics we said we'd speak about, but just to throw it in there dead quick. One of the things from Grand Slam this week that interested me was MVP turning up. Do we think we're going to get Swerve in the Hurt Syndicate, or do we think it's going to be a one-on-one feud with Bobby Lashley?
Fucking
Swerve should not be in a group.
He should not be in that group. They should not move him with him and Nana should not be separated.
I want him separated because I feel like Swerve is a phenomenal heel, but he cannot be a heel with Nana with him. Nana just takes everything away that he tries in terms of heel heat.
Yeah, we spoke about this last week, didn't we? We were like about how Nana's dance is a real sort of contradiction to Swerve's sort of devilish kind of tendencies, and it just feel like MVP could. I don't know whether they bunch them together. I don't know how they do it, but I can see it happening. That they're laying the groundwork for either Swerve to have a killer feud with like the Syndicate, or they're actually making him bin off Nana for good.
Even if it's just temporary, it would be good, like a temporary, and then he eventually does go back to Nana. Like maybe the hate Syndicates fuck him over or something. I don't know, but I'd like to see Nana do something. Elevate, give someone else the rub for a little bit. Someone else who maybe needs that kind of crowd reaction.
But Nana with Private Party.
That wouldn't be a bad one. I honestly think that wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah, agreed. It's got to be better than like Nana's dance. Got to be better than the thing whatever Alex Abrahantes is doing, because
he doesn't do fucking anything, does he?
Everyone at the live event says he's a great hype man, but like
I don't get it.
Hype me up, to be honest.
I don't get it at all. I just don't have any kind of like care for what he's doing.
No.
But going back to the promo was fucking great. Like MVP's promo was sick. I've watched that about 5 times now. Absolutely excellent. Like my man cut an absolute scathing promo and actually make you think, yeah, fuck me. I was ambivalent at first about him and the Hurt Syndicate like joining, but I'm quite interested to see how this all develops.
Yeah, same. I had no interest in seeing him in AEW, to be honest, but that promo was fucking great. So if that's how he's going to start, I'm looking forward to see where it goes next.
I want to see him in AEW. Just as long as he's not wrestling, I'm happy, because he has a lot to offer. And again, there's not that many people. I mean, how many people have they got that don't wrestle that we actually like? There's Nana. There's anyone else? That's it. So I'm happy to have someone else in there that can be a mouthpiece, but actually can add legitimate value to things, because he is that good on the mic.
It was the thing that got me was obviously, another highlight was obviously LFI's reunion, but I'll come to that in a second, but about how they sort of quietly, they seem to have at least separated Roosh from the Callis family. But another man who was seen watching backstage was obviously Powerhouse Hobbs. I think since he's been a heel and separated from like Team Taz and all that lot, he's just sort of been floundering. Like he can go, like he's a beast, like he can actually like go quite well in the ring, and I think MVP as a mouthpiece for him would be quite sick. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's harsh to say he was floundering, to be honest, though, because he was facing Mox for the IWGP title, wasn't he? Until he got injured, and if you remember, that had to be cut short because of the injury. So they clearly had plans for him at some point, but he's just been out for a year, hasn't he? So you can't forget about him.
No, well, Hobbs got injured back when was at a Daly's place where he fought Mox for the IWGP, or am I imagining that?
I can't remember where it was, but
it was at Daly's place.
So yeah, it wasn't a year. I think it was earlier this year, because
April. His last match was April.
Was it?
5.5 months ago.
It feels like well longer than that to me.
Yeah. He had 14 matches this year. He had 14 matches this year, 13 in AEW, which seems a bit insane. Don't remember being that many for love nor money.
I don't want to see him in the Hurt Syndicate though myself, because I feel like he's got more to offer outside of that, because otherwise he's just going to be playing second fiddle to whoever's in the Hurt Syndicate.
I think having two rich shithouses in the group doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I don't want, if they're going to come in, I don't want them to come in and have someone.
I want Ricochet to join him, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm happy for Ricochet to join, because he's not good on the mic.
I don't know, I was really impressed with his promo last week. I thought it was excellent. I was always the same as everyone else, and just thinking, he's not great on the mic because he doesn't really do anything on the mic, does he? He doesn't have any substance or anything meaty to get stuck into. But his promo last week was fucking brilliant.
Did you watch the AEW, sorry, the sit down with Renee with him and Ospreay?
Yes,
that was great.
Yeah,
that was great. That was so good. But yeah, I think with Ricochet, it's one of them where for so long he was just doing these really bland cookie cutter style promos in the Fed, and then now he's allowed to sort of spread his wings and fly, no pun intended, a little bit more. So I think it feels a bit more genuine, and I don't hate his promos now.
It could be that. I mean, look, at the end of the day, that shite in the Fed it'd fucking kill anyone's fucking enthusiasm and creativity, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So who was the Hurt Syndicate? Shelton and Lashley.
And
Cedric and MVP. Yeah.
Yeah.
I for me personally, if you've got the mouthpiece MVP, you've got Ricochet, who can be the guy that, Lashley should not be going for big titles or anything at his age. He should be coming in as the muscle. You've got Shelton there, who's the technical dude in the group, and then you've got Ricochet, who can be pushed as the guy that can go on to try and win titles. I think. I don't know. I'm not against that idea anyway.
Moriarty would be a good shout.
Well, yeah. I would. There's a couple in Shane Taylor's promotions though that'd go well with the Hurt Syndicate. So it's one of them. Do you kind of kill Shane Taylor Promotions by taking some out and dropping them into the Hurt Syndicate, or do you maybe kind of have the two work together?
I think
they'd have a very similar vibe.
They would, absolutely. Yeah. You're quite right there. But they would gel well, as a super faction. But I don't want that personally. I think Shane Taylor Promotions is quite good on its own merits. But what I think, if MVP could be a mouthpiece, have him do what be a manager for different people, not as one group, but just manage different people.
That's not a bad shout. I'd like that.
Manager for hire.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, someone I couldn't really think of an example, but someone like Paul Heyman, where he was managing, he was obviously managing Lesnar and he was managing Curtis Axel at the same time. But do that for maybe 3 or 4 people and people who are actually good. So that'd be a good role for MVP. That.
So like Paul Heyman, only not a prick.
Exactly. Yeah. But you're going back to Shane Taylor real quick, because aren't they trying to merge with the tag team of was it Lee Johnson and EJ? Is that, or am I? Oh, no, it's the infantry, isn't it? They're trying to merge, or they're talking about merging them too.
Yeah.
But EJ's a weird one, isn't he? Because I say a weird one. That sounds wrong, but because he was backing up Swerve a couple of months ago, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. So he was one of his muscle in the Osprey, wasn't he? When they had to stare down on the stage.
Was he just hired muscle, or?
Especially if he feuds with the Hurt Syndicate, then you know what I mean. He's going to need backup, isn't he? Again, but it's the same thing all the time, isn't it? But
EJ stuff the other day on Twitter was great. Not because it was having a dig at the Fed and showing up for what they are, but I just love the fire. He's fired up. He wants to fucking make moves. He wants to make things happen. He said Tony's backing him 100%. He said, and when you got a boss like that, it makes you want to run through brick walls for him. And I love that. It's fucking great. You can tell he's fully invested.
Well, that's what Tony likes, isn't it? You can see the people like Starks aren't getting used because they're not 100% in on the vision of what they want.
Yeah, that's
Swerve.
Yeah, they're twerking for Triple H, whereas Swerve's fucking ready to run through a brick wall for him. It's a no-brainer.
100%.
Where's Ricky Starks? Where's Miro? Well, they don't fucking want to be there anyway, so who gives a fuck?
Oh, did you see that when the people whinging on Twitter there about fucking the Jack Perry channel? Oh, why was it Suzuki? Why wasn't it Miro, Starks? Are you for fucking real?
It makes zero sense, generally.
Well, imagine they brought fucking Starks back and Jack Perry beat him because Jack Perry wasn't losing the title. People would be bitching about that then. Oh, you just bring Starks back to job.
Come back and get jobbed out of Jungle Boy in a minute. It'd have been good TV.
I'd fucking do that. Honestly, if you're under contract, this is one of the things with the whole contract situation I don't get. Is like if you tell someone to this is the, this is what you got to do. They should be doing it. They're getting paid.
100%. I don't get how people like it's your fucking rota. Like when I get my rota, I do what I'm told. Like,
exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get how people think, oh no, don't fancy that one today. Like me, it's just very, very weird that. But again, it speaks of egos, doesn't it? But when I get told what to do, just okay, that's what I'm doing today. Fine.
If you're at a certain level, though, you can sort of understand it. But when you're at the level of like Starks or me or whatever, it's just like, no, you can't be doing that.
You're not Stone Cold Steve Austin, mate. You're not the Undertaker. You don't get that sway. Like you at most, you're a mid carder. Fine. If you have a high opinion, if you want better for yourself, fine. But obviously, at the end of the day, you're being paid by your employer. Show up to work. Do what they expect you to do. Anybody else in that position would be terminated on the spot, I reckon.
Well, fucking Stone Cold was fucking doing what he was told. He was jobbing in WCW, and he was jobbing early in WWE. I mean, he might not have realised he was jobbing because the CTE that he doesn't believe in, but still he was. He was doing whatever they told him to do.
Has anyone watched that McMahon doc, by the way? It's fucking shite.
Yeah, I have. It's fucking shite, yeah.
It's for people that don't watch wrestling.
Yeah.
You won't learn anything on there.
Yeah, a mate of mine in work was saying today that he watched it and like he was loving it because it was, bringing back memories of what he used to watch and that, but like obviously at the same time it's grim. And I was saying to him, you haven't even fucking scratched the surface of it, mate. I said, you need to be Behind the Bastards did a great 4-parter on Vince, and that was loads of stuff from his early years that people don't talk about. You've got the Dark Side of the Ring stuff that went into it even more. And then there's all the stuff that we still haven't even fucking had people have the balls to actually go and fucking talk about.
It shows how much of a bubble, though, we live in, but like on Twitter it is, because everyone in the Twitter bubble's all in on all this. But when you go outside of that, no one knows half of this stuff.
No, I was going to say that Phil Mushnick was basically nail on the head, wasn't it? Like, he was trying to report all this for years, and everyone's like, it's only wrestling.
Well, yeah, it's like when people go, the attendance this or the AEW only done this or that behind the scenes. And it's like no one gives a fuck apart from a few hundred people on Twitter. Like 98% of fans don't give a fuck about that stuff.
No,
not at all. And like when you talk about attendances, though, like most people cannot tell that the attendance is low from the TV because the cameras cover it quite well, and people aren't looking for that kind of thing. They're not looking for it. You know what I mean? It's not something that's in your face and quite obvious.
No, going back 5 years ago, 3-4 years ago, anyway, WWE were only doing it, weren't they? 4,000 or 5,000. You couldn't tell.
They were cutting in, and they still do this now. They were cutting in clips from other events. Do you remember that when they had the fucking guy in the crowd and people were like, that's from fucking a pay-per-view 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And it was.
Amazing.
They were clipping a guy in the front row. They're the best at doing this kind of shit. It's like, do you see that clip that went around on Twitter today, I think it was today, about the Kurt Angle and Kane match when the table broke early? The announcer's table broke early in the match. And they were showing like what actually happened, and then what you seen on TV, which was where it didn't break until he put him through the table. And they were saying like what happened was they finished the match up, and then after it had finished, after Raw had finished, Kurt Angle came out and challenged Kane to another quick match because he wasn't happy, and then they redid the entire table spot and just edited it into TV.
Fair enough.
It's the same type of people. The same type of people who complain about who use attendance in AEW as clickbaity negative bullshit. The same people who have been waxing lyrical about Tony Khan holding Ray Fenix hostage, and it's just like, for fuck's sake, come on, man. Okay, that's a grey area, and I'm sure that's worth a debate on its own, right? But
going into that, it's the same people who were saying, well, it's not like the exact same thing when it was Ali or whatever, who were saying WWE don't have to release him. And now they've flip-flopped. It's just...
Yeah.
That's like people who were saying Tony Khan needs to be a boss. He's not a boss. He's everyone's friend.
For me, that argument is so thin because as soon as he fucked off CM Punk last year, and he did, there's not two ways about it, Punk might have wanted to get sacked. He fucked Punk off. That put it to bed then, because that was the guy he wanted more than anything. Like he proved it from then. He was a boss. He's just a boss who doesn't behave like an absolute cunt most of the time, as far as we're aware.
we've said it before, haven't we? Like, as far as billionaires go, they're all fucking cunts.
Yeah, of course.
You don't get that kind of money unless you've killed a few people on the way.
Exactly. Yeah, you know where the bodies are. Yeah.
But he's inherited it, and like, so you'd kind of hope that it is true that he seems like a nice fella, and he's maybe not as much of a cunt because he inherited a big chunk of his money, so he's not had to actually kill anyone. His dad probably did all that.
He's just a big wrestling nerd with loads of money who wants to run a promotion. It's not a fucking bad thing.
Like, he's a geek, and he's clearly on the fucking spectrum as well. Like, but I think he's fucking brilliant. I don't understand the hate he gets. He gets more hate than Vince McMahon online, which is fucking insane, to be honest.
People say, don't they? They go, oh, he's got it. He's only where he is because of all the money. Well, how many other millionaires, billionaires have done it in the past 20 years?
Exactly.
No one.
Exactly. Everyone's got skeletons in their closet.
And they're like, oh, he's just using daddy's money. No, he's not. He's using his own fucking money. He's got his dad gave him money, but it's his own money.
And the fact is, like, even if he was holding Phoenix to ransom or whatever, people claim, maximizing his value, he's entitled to do that. I'm not siding with a billionaire. Fuck billionaires. I'm not about that. Like, I would always typically side with a worker. But if Conan hadn't run his mouth and Penta hadn't started running his mouth about, I'm just going to wait for my contract to go up because I'm going to go to WWE and main event with Cody. Tony is well within his right to say, no, you're not going. You've still got this amount of time on your contract. You're going to work these dates. He's well within his rights to do that. It's a shame that Phoenix has sort of been caught in the crossfire, sure, because it's not his fault. At the same time, he got injured, but that's just the way the world works. If WWE has been doing this stuff for fucking years, and just because Tony Khan's doing it, everyone seems to be up in arms about it.
But Tony's done it before. No one's been asked. They're only asked now because these fellas wanted to go to WWE. He did it with Kenny. He did it with Mox with Kenny. He did it with Brian, although Brian reckons he didn't, but I wouldn't believe anything Brian tells me. He did it with Punk, which probably worked in Punk's favour in the end because he might have got a bigger payoff. He did it with Hangman. He's done it with fucking loads. It's just and it's both ways because it helps them as well as the business. Do you know what I mean? Like they get that. Like with Kenny, it was great for him because it gave him that little bit of time extra to renegotiate his fucking next deal instead of just being like, oh shit, we have to go. And if you remember, Mox was just like, yeah, whatever, just add it. He didn't give a fuck. He was like, yeah, add it on. I'll just crack on,
Yeah. The whole situation is weird anyway, because wasn't it like a week ago they were saying they've signed deals with WWE anyway?
That was fucking brilliant because it was that Corey fella on it, like, and then he was complaining yesterday, going, I never said that, you fucking did.
2 year somewhat deal straight to the main roster, wasn't it? And it was like
that was his
tweet. Being produced.
Well, they're going to have to wait a year or so, aren't they? Now to get to because they're a package deal, aren't they? So whether it means Penta's going to sit at home for a year or whether he's actually going to, well, I don't really care. But whether Phoenix is, I hope he decides actually, do you know what, going to be a professional and we actually get put him on TV, give him some time. Doesn't have to be a main event player. Doesn't have to win anything of significance. Just be on TV. You show some love to the fans and everything like that before you leave or whatever.
He shouldn't even be able to decide this. If he's under contract, he should be there.
Well, that's what I mean. I just hope I hope the stars align and they actually make him turn up to Dynamite and give us matches against Ricochet or something like that.
Exactly.
Go on, Dave. I'll ask my new best friend Conan what's going on.
Is he still DMing you, asking you to listen to his podcast?
Well, he messaged me back, didn't he? And he goes, I asked him to listen to ours, and he goes, I didn't know you had a podcast. What city do you rep? I'll shout you out on mine.
He knows Middlesbrough. We actually have our dear friend Brett over in New York, who has very kindly pieced together a little interview. So we're going to cut to that now and hear what he has to say.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is. Welcome to a Group Chat Wrestling Podcast exclusive interview. I am Brett, that ball bro, your American hero for your favorite wrestling podcast. And boy, do I have a treat for you today. I have a special interview with Miss Shayna Hill, aka the UK indie scene queen, aka the Tub Talk princess herself, aka the love of my life, Miss Shayna Hill. Shayna, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day. How are you feeling?
Fantastic, thank you.
All right, Shayna, let's get right to business right now. You know, a lot of news right now in this news every day in the world of professional wrestling, but let's talk about maybe the most biggest important news going on right now, and that is the Lucha Brothers, more specifically Ray Fenix. The news that Tony Khan is adding on injury time almost up to a year added to his contract. Now it raised a lot of questions. It's raised controversy. A lot of people think that it's not right. That that AEW should be above this, but everything is not made what it appears to be. So you recently this past weekend have had a source that you will keep unnamed, that I'm not asking for the name of, but you've had a source reach out to you about the scoop on why Ray Phoenix's contract may have been added injury time. Would you care to elaborate the reasons why and what led to that decision?
Yes, first and foremost, I would like to say that I, for one, enjoy pettiness. However, that is not the case of what's going on here. So I have a trusted source within AEW that let me know that, again, this isn't a pettiness situation. It is a situation where allegedly the Lord and Savior of the WWE, Triple H, has decided to contract tamper and knew that there was time left on the contracts of Ray Fenix and Penta while with AEW, still reached out to them through their manager, Conan. So because Conan and Ray Fenix could not keep their mouths shut, they had to publicly let everybody know that they did in fact breach contract allegedly with AEW in order to sign with the WWE. So it isn't a case of Tony just being petty and adding on injury time for no reason. It is a legitimate reason. Again, we have no business in knowing the business side of the business. And this is one of those situations where the fans just assumed Tony was being petty, and that's not the case.
I hear you, and you know what? A lot of times in the IWC, a lot of people say that they have sources, unnamed sources, but not a lot of credibility depending on the names in this whole crazy land of the IWC, the Internet Wrestling community. So like your source that you're bringing up in regards to this Ray Phoenix news, has he given you he or she, have they ever given you any other leaks on what's the inner workings of AEW that have wound up becoming true, like something on this level of Ray Fenix?
Yes, and first and foremost, I would like to say that it is not appropriate to ask people who their sources are, because if they tell you who their sources are, guess what? They will no longer be your sources. I will say that this person did tell me, in fact, you can timestamp it. I was the first person to break the story about the Young Bucks leaking the footage from Brawl In. And I reported it days before Dave Meltzer and my bestie, Sean Ross Sapp. So yes, I get fed stories, told stories, leaked stories, whatever the case may be on a regular basis. But I pick and choose which ones I want to go with just because some of them just don't seem reliable. So this person did in fact feed me the story of the footage being leaked prior to some of the larger dirt sheets leaking the story themselves. So I win.
I mean, so you have history, you have credibility with not just breaking news in regards to your source, but also being right. You have timestamps, you have receipts, so it's something that I think a lot of fans out there should take seriously. But it's not just the Ray Phoenix news that's going on right now. A lot of questions have been asked about Daniel Garcia and his contract status, and kind of like the start and sudden stop of his push in AEW. I mean, when we go back to All In, him interfering in MJF's match with Will Ospreay, you know, a lot of people like myself, we thought that, okay, it's a no-brainer. He's re-signed with AEW. You know, unless, otherwise you wouldn't put him in that big of a spot on that big of a stage. Fast forward to All Out, the match with Garcia and MJF. I mean, you would think the whole world would be like, yeah, obviously Garcia is going over, but no, MJF wound up going over, which was to the shock and disbelief of a lot of fans out there. But now, speaking of contract news, like I just mentioned, there's, you know, there might be news, you know, that your source, I think, literally may have told you today in regards to Daniel Garcia's contract says. Do you care to elaborate in the best way you can on what Garcia's status might be with AEW going forward?
Yes. So this is a throwback to Bret the Hitman Hart, you know, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. The scenario is kind of similar. So allegedly, the WWE decided to also contract tamper with Daniel Garcia. And unlike Swerve, Daniel Garcia did not let Tony know. So Tony found out, was not happy, and it derailed Daniel Garcia's push. He was allegedly, in fact, supposed to beat MJF, but Tony, in good conscience, could not let Daniel Garcia beat his top star and go right off into the sunset like that. So obviously, there are consequences to your actions. And because Daniel Garcia thought the grass may be greener on the other side, when in fact it's green where you water it, decided to try to water it somewhere else, and it did not turn out. It was just covered in manure, and that was that.
You know, I understand in the business of professional wrestling, it's nothing new. Like I've been watching wrestling for over 30 years. Like, wrestlers come and go, different promotions. It's nothing new. But, you know, whether Garcia goes to WWE or not, like, there's a right and wrong way to do business. You know, like, if I feel in Daniel's heart of hearts, like, if he really wanted to stay in AEW, like, I think, like, he would have did just like Swerve and let Tony know immediately, hey, someone from WWE said, whether it's Triple H or whoever, Shawn Michaels or whoever on their side is trying to reach out to me. But, you know, I want to say, I feel the fact that, to our knowledge, that he didn't do that, that he's still up in the air, and that's totally fine. But there's a right way to do business, and there's a wrong way. And like you said, the fact that he lost in All Out, it kind of says, like, you know, we talk about Tony Khan always, you know, he's got to be a boss. He's got to stop being a friend. Stop being such a pushover. Stop being a nice guy. Well, guess what? What he did to Ray Fenix and what he's done to Daniel Garcia, that's being a boss. He's looking out for the best interests of AEW. So it's, you know, don't be mad when you're getting what you've asked for. Like, what are your thoughts on, like, Tony, you know, being a boss? Do you think it's fair play for him what he's done, or do you think it's he's in a bit of a gray, murky area?
Well, the irony of all of this is that people want to pick and choose when they want to blame Tony for something. And this is a scenario where the legal department within AEW allegedly was actually the ones to notice that this was contract tampering. And for people out there that are like, oh, AEW does this, all companies do this, blah, 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 it's illegal. It can be taken to civil court because it is literally breach of contract. So if somebody is breaking the law, so to speak, in the terms of business, then Tony has every right to protect his assets. And by adding on time to Ray Fenix and punishing Daniel Garcia for the time being, which we don't know if it's temporary, if Daniel Garcia is potentially suspended, if Daniel Garcia reached out first, we don't know any of this. So a lot of this is just speculation, and we will never really know because it's really none of our business, but because we're nosy and we had somebody hold the curtain back for us to see behind it, and now we think we know everything, we got to talk about it. So in my opinion, I think that it's a double-edged sword for Tony to do something like this, because when only small details come out, people want to blame Tony because he owns the company. But in reality, he has different departments like HR and legal and PR and all of these departments to help him run a multi-million-dollar company. So in you know, for lack of a better term, Tony is being a boss, and this is a boss move, and this is what anybody who's being a good boss would do to protect their assets. If you pay somebody $5 million for a 5-year contract and their injury time adds up to a year, you're either going to need to make them pay you back $1 million or work off that $1 million worth of a year, and Tony's doing what any good boss should be doing.
There you have it, guys. The UK indie scene queen, the princess of the Tub Talks, Shayna Hill. Thank you very much for joining us in this episode of the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. Back to my co-host. We'll see you next time.
On the contract stuff, it's like as I said the other day. For me, I'm happy he's done it. Like, personally, because I like AEW. I really enjoy what AEW, and if AEW was to die, I'd be quite disappointed. So it's more a case of if he's allowing people to just take the piss and do this all the time, then the company is going to suffer perception-wise and possibly, kind of financially going forward. So I'm happy he's doing it from that respect.
One thing I find interesting about the whole thing is, look, I'm always going to be with workers in situations because I like consistent. I've always moaned about WWE doing it. I'm like, it is what it is. But I would have just say, you know what, fuck it. Like losing Phoenix is a bigger deal than losing Penta. WWE, Penta's a bigger deal than Phoenix because he's the merch seller. The fact he's not particularly strong in the ring anymore doesn't mean anything to WWE. But it was very interesting to see the reaction from people online. And people that a common thing was, from WWE fans is, I thought AEW were better than this. I thought they were the bigger company. I thought they had a better moral compass than this. I thought that's what they were about. And so I just thought that's such a self-own from fans that they accept that the fact the company they watch are a bunch of cunts, basically.
Yeah, we watch the fucking shady company. So
yeah, you were supposed to be the alternative.
Yeah,
like that's what they say.
Yeah. And it was also one thing, I did a tweet about it and a lot of people reacted to it, but a lot of people who never really engage with my tweets, that follow me all and whatnot, they were suddenly liking the tweet and commenting on it. And I was just like, I don't know, I found it quite interesting because I'm like, I know that you don't feel the same when it goes the other way around. If it was someone like Danielson or Swerve, I'll be honest, maybe I would think a bit differently about it. But as it's someone that's barely been on TV regularly for like such a long time now, I just thought, you know what? Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. It got blown out of proportion massively, and everyone was swinging their cocks to their moral compasses with it, which again were just more out of convenience and tribalism than really giving a shit about anything.
It's more for me. It was more the principle of it more than anything else, because like you can be the better company and the better man. But if they're going to keep doing what they're doing and taking the piss and taking advantage of you, they're going to bury you. And like I'm 100% with the workers every single time. Like I say, like that. Selfishly, I'm glad he's done it. But in reality, it shouldn't be happening. But it shouldn't be happening across the board. And the only way to stop that is to have a union will be the only way forward. But then even then, a union might not even think this is a bad thing because people are getting covered for time when they're injured. They're getting the. I mean, like basically, these guys are contractors essentially. That's what they're classed as, but they're not really, because they get looked after. They get looked after for any medical issues. They get rehab cover and all that kind of stuff. And like I was a contractor for 15 years, and I never got any of that. For me, if I was off sick for whatever, it was like fuck you. Sorry.
Right.
Good luck. So like that's the thing of being a contractor. You can go out and you can find your own work, and they can't just make everyone employees, which is the thing everyone keeps shouting about. Because like WWE could do that because their guys aren't allowed to do anything else. AEW can't do that because their guys, unless you're a top guy, these guys aren't on mega money, and they rely on doing indies. They rely on doing outside projects. And if you're an employee, then that can prevent you from doing any outside work. You know, I mean, you guys could probably have that in your own contracts in working, that like it will say you are not allowed to go and work for, do work on the side. It can affect your contract with us, and so it's really it's not an easy. There's no easy answer to, because you can't just make them employees, but then as contractors you can't just they're still getting like rehab cover and injury cover and things like that. And it's not like they're saying we'll keep you forever. They're only basically allowed to extend it for the time that they've covered your injury. So, and like I say, a union might actually say that's a good thing and agree with that. So it's a tough one. It's not as easy as people seem to think.
It's a really tough one as well, because in the States, like, there is a law which says an employer can like fire you on the spot, and in the UK, obviously, there's a lot more like regulations around like protections, unless you're on like a 0 hours contract or something, which would effectively make you like a contractor anyway. But this whole
Which is the
Phoenix thing,
worst thing in the fucking world, by the way. That's something that should be
100%.
fucking illegal. 0 hour contracts. Fuck off anyone who does them.
Exactly. Allow it. No, like there's two things. We all know AEW is measured differently to the Fed and other promotions. Like, we all know AEW has way more like detractors, like like vocal detractors as well. So they are held to a different standard. But it's like, if I'm Tony Khan and I let Phoenix and walk without any kind of him coming down with a hammer a little bit, if I let them go and just run rampant, like, it sends a message to like the other employees and contractors saying, well, I can get away with that. So it's just it's a lose-lose situation for them either way. Either he has to put his foot down and say no, or he lets everyone else think, do you know what, because Penta and Phoenix have got away with this, maybe I can as well. And it's just going to create, like, not anarchy, that's a bit like hyperbole, but you know what I mean? It's just
No,
a
100%.
lose-lose.
It was the same when Andrade was trying to cause fights to get fired, and it was like, well, if he did give him the boot after that, and he went straight to the Fed, that's just a sign to anyone.
What does that say? He was a fucking prick for that.
Yeah, but to be like, at least Andrade worked though on his way out. At least he put in some good matches on his way out, which is what you just want the Lucha Brothers to do.
Yeah.
If you've made your mind up that you're going, like, who's to say Tony would even keep them to that year? He might knock it down to 6 months, 4 months if they came in and shown like they were gonna. Imagine Phoenix coming out and putting over Hologram, putting over LFI, putting over like fucking Ricochet, fucking putting over
matches. Don't leave a sour taste in your mouth. Doesn't
put
really matter
over
what
Sammy.
Penta does. Exactly.
Put over
Yeah.
Sammy on the way out, put over some of these kind of young guys on the way out. Some of Top Flight. Let Top Flight go over the Lucha Brothers on the way out or something. That's what people always did for years, and it's one of the only things when you hear these old cunts fucking bitch and moan about what it used to be like. It's one of the only things that you think actually that was good, is that they would agree. The unwritten rule of the business, which is like, you do business on your way out.
Yeah. Talking of old guys putting over young guys, did you see Ricky Morton's tweet when he responded to the Ospreay, Fletcher, and Young Bucks match? He said, "What a tag team match!" And then Meltzer was like, "Careful what you say, because there are some people who like end friendships over this kind of stuff."
It's not wrong.
Exactly.
It was such a fucking good match, though.
It was unreal. Absolutely brilliant.
This
is another thing. Yeah, this is another thing. Like, I've given I've gone off I went off the Young Bucks like earlier this year, just because felt like they were just kind of going through the motions a little bit. But then the last few weeks they've turned up like big time. Like that match and the multi-man, like the collision before All Out as well. They've really like stepped it up a notch. Like, they can still go. They're still like arguably like the best tag team in the business, to be honest.
I mean, you look at the thing is, you look at the Sting Derby match at Revolution. The Dynasty's ladder match was fucking really, really good as well. And then the match last week, that's still 3 better tag matches than probably any other North American company have done this year.
100%.
I just felt with them that they didn't have much to work with, and that was a booking issue more than and a position of the tag division issue more than it was the Bucks. Like, the Bucks can't, if they've got nobody to work with. I mean, nobody wanted to see another FTR Bucks acclaim match, but that's what we got, and it's I don't know. I as you just kind of both said there anyway. I do think they're the best tag team around still. And on any given day, they will put on a better tag match than anybody.
Absolutely. If they're motivated enough, they'll go out and knock it out of the park. And yeah, like Kyle Fletcher, just to shout out to him, like, he's been like arguably one of the most improved wrestlers like this entire year so far. Like, I've loved everything that he's done so far.
He has been incredible.
You can tell Tony really likes him as well. He's going to go far.
He is, yeah. But obviously,
in every time, doesn't he?
Yeah. This is, we've talked a lot about like Aussie Open and everything, and like with the news about Davis, everything like that. Obviously, I'm a bit gutted that we might not get him back like as soon as we'd hoped, or as soon as we were sort of led to believe. Like, I just really hope, like, whatever, they've alluded to the fact that it's kind of his story to tell, and it's maybe not entirely all injury related. So either way, I just hope the guy's okay, and I hope we do get like Aussie Open back. But even if it doesn't always materialize like as we envisioned, like, I hope that they do stick, behind Kyle, because he's still so young and he's still like putting on like these incredible matches, and I really think he's got a bright future.
100%. He's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Well, so what do we think he's going to do at the 5th anniversary show?
It's going to be good, isn't it, this weekend?
There's question marks about that, to be honest.
Well, I was fully on, as I've said, I was on in the kind of booking scenario. I fully had the scenario in my head that Davis were going to return and we were going to get United Empire against the Callis family, but I've got a fucking clue now. Now I'm starting to wonder whether Kyle's going to turn on Ospreay and the entire Callis family are going to beat the shit out of him. Who's going to come to Ospreay's kind of rescue then?
Well, yeah, the way it looks to me at the moment is, the question mark about Davis, like, notwithstanding, is, there's some kind of intervention, there's some kind of meeting. Callis calls all the family together, calls out Ospreay, and then they beat the shit out of him, and Kyle is going to be the one that it all hinges on, really. That seems like the most, and I think Ricochet is probably going to be the one to side with him, whether it happens like after the match,
before the match.
You reckon before
the match, and then Ricochet, and then it turns out Ricochet's with the Callis family afterwards. I've said Ricochet's with the Callis family all along. I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to ride that one through to the end on my Outrunners jet ski.
Yeah. I mean, what else we got on the 5th anniversary show? Have we?
There's 3 matches so far. We've got obviously we've got that. We've got Serena Devi, Britt Baker, and we've got Hangman and Juice Robinson, which I'm definitely looking forward to that.
I can't wait for that.
I think Jay White's coming back this week, and that's going to be Hangman and Jay White at WrestleDream.
I'd watch Juice Robinson every week. He's fucking brilliant.
He's first of all, the outfit was like, out of this world. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. But Juice is actually so underrated in the ring. Like, he does not
so
get
good. I love him.
He is. He really is.
It's going to be a callback to like the mid 2010s New Japan like style. Like, have them go 15 minutes, just beat the shit out of each other, and I'm happy.
He's funny as fuck though as well. Like while he's wrestling, he's funny as fuck. When he really won me over, because I wasn't really that interested in when he just turned up in AEW.
Yeah, he felt like a sort of small fish in a big pond. You know what I mean? Like,
there was just kind of nothing to his character. And then when he started feuding with Ricky Starks and Jay White turned up, and then as he's beating the shit out of Ricky, he was going, Ricky, Ricky, and I was like, this guy's fucking brilliant.
It's the one where he cut the promo on Phil and he said, like, I got my 8 hours. You want me to get sleep? I'm fine. Oh, it's brilliant.
What else? So what else? I think in the next 24 hours we're going to get the Tony Khan has got a huge announcement graphic.
Yes.
Well, it's getting to that crunch time now, isn't it? It feels like it's imminent.
The 5-year anniversary is perfect. That's a perfect time.
Absolutely.
Especially with Bleacher Report today telling people they've got to move the pay-per-views off the service.
It's the end of the 3rd quarter, isn't it, today? Which will be the start of the new quarter for the TVs tomorrow, is it?
Oh, it's not really.
It feels like it's imminent now, because it's got to be.
The 5-year anniversary feels perfect. I'm sure
it does. It really does.
It's been in the pipeline for probably a month now. This is when I want to do it. Do you mind? Warner Brothers are saying, whatever, fuck it, who cares, fine. So they'll do it. I'm sure it'll be the announcement tomorrow on Wednesday. It might not even be on the show. They might just announce it during the day, but I reckon the 5-year anniversary is the right time to do it. So I reckon we get the announcement Wednesday. I feel pretty confident of that.
Wednesday daytime, I think. I'd like to do that. Get people talking before the show.
Yeah, that's a good one. Warner Brothers might put out a statement in the daytime, and then it'll be Tony's. Because Warner Brothers will have to put the statements out, won't they? They did that with Collision.
It has to come from them, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good one. I like that. So Warner Brothers put a statement out Wednesday daytime, and then we get the Tony Khan has a huge announcement.
I'm gonna start pushing that on Twitter the next day or so. Then
Yeah.
we broke the news.
Insert Leonardo DiCaprio clip from Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving.
It will be it'll be a good day. It's going to be funny just to see. I mean, it's not even funny. It's going to be pathetic to see how people move the goalposts. Like whether it's going to be, whatever money they got, they'll just add a 0 on or add a 1 on top that they should have got this much more. Or the worst one I've seen is, so they've got the new deal, but what now? What do you mean what now?
Yeah. No, that's a head.
Moving the goalposts all the time.
But what does that mean for the product? It means hopefully they keep doing what they're doing, because for the last 5 years, Dynamite's been the best wrestling show on TV literally every single fucking week. So let's keep just doing that, please.
What about the Brandon Thurston one though? When it was like, why will AEW be getting 125 million when NXT are only getting 25 million? Because a better fucking show, you dickhead. because
NXT is literally so bad. Like it's an objectively terrible show.
He was literally comparing what NXT's one show to the fact that AEW has Collision, Dynamite, probably getting rid of Rampage, but that probably means one of them's going 3 hours. They're going to have the Max fucking library. He's got Ring of Honor probably tied into all this. Shut the fuck up, you bunch of
They're definitely on Fox. They're 100% going with Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swerve got something over there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah. They booted off WWE and they got AEW. He knew exactly what he was doing with that.
If they actually put it on Fox as well, that'll be amazing, because it would start to genuinely beat SmackDown on USA, because it would. If it's on, it will go up to like 1.4 million probably if they've got a free show. It genuinely will. And SmackDown's going to be on a Friday night. SmackDown's rating ain't going to get much better than 1.3, 1.4 million, because again, most people don't want to watch wrestling on a Friday night, especially when they've got to pay for it.
It's going 3 hours as well, isn't it?
Fuck that.
Well, either way, I wouldn't watch it, but
I do think
bad enough.
I do think Dynamite's going 3 hours eventually.
I really hope not.
I don't.
I hope not, honestly. I hope not, but I do think it is, because they loved it apparently. Whenever Rampage was following it, they loved it. Like I just hope that they keep it to just, the odd occasion, and it's not like it's 3 hours every week. I hope it's like 2 hours, but every now and again we'll maybe do a 3 hour show. I wouldn't be against that.
That's when you need to do. So say like Grand Slam last week. That's when you need the extra hour.
Yeah, like special ones. Yeah, like fine, I can live with that. But
when it feels like
it's a real slog. It's a real slog, 3 hours.
Oh, 100%.
4 in the morning. It's 4 in the morning for us, man. Like, but even so, like, look, pay-per-view is the one time. Like, I'm good. I don't give a fuck if I'm sitting there for 5-6 hours. I'm happy. I'm gonna have a bottle of prosecco. I'm gonna have food that I shouldn't be eating. I'm gonna sit there and just consume and enjoy for hours on end. I love it. I don't want that every fucking week, man. 3 hours of anything is too much.
And a pay-per-view is a weekend as well.
Yeah.
These are fucking on a Wednesday night. Always
Exactly.
fucking wrecked on a Thursday morning.
Yeah.
At least the bins get taken.
Yeah, that's the fucking best day of the week for me. Get rid of them fucking bins, honestly.
No, it's so true. Like, keeping it to like things like, I don't know, whether they do like Battle of the Belts, like following Dynamite, fine, whatever.
Road Rager, Fighter Fest, the special events.
Fight for the Fallen, whatever it is. Yeah, just special things like that. Maybe 10 times a year, I can live with that, but keep it to 2 hours. It would, for argument's sake, like if it went 3 hours, it would solve a lot of the issues that they do have where there's too many talent, and then the extra hour would give you an opportunity to showcase more talent. I get all of that, but I don't think it's the right call, personally.
No, I agree, but like Tony's shown that when it is an odd occasion, he can put on a great fucking, a killer main event that will attract people. Or, will at least excite people, But, like, every week, I think that'd be a tough seller. It really would.
Yeah. Do you know what?
The fatigue would really set in then.
I mean, that's the thing. From a fan's point of view, again, it's the fatigue of it all. I don't want that. But I actually think that TK, with the fact that he can have 2 matches at least go 20 minutes each week, I think from a booking point of view, he would thrive in that environment. But I just don't want to watch 3 hours in a row every single fucking Wednesday.
Tied into this was also the rumour that they might be bringing Dark back as well, which I fucking hope so. Like, I mean, if Tony can get someone else to run Dark for him, which I'm sure he could, I'd love that, because it gets, they don't do house shows, so at least it gets some of these other guys reps. And Dark used to have some great little under the radar stories running on it, and it's one of them you can just whack it on YouTube in the background or whatever. You're not
That's what I did. It was great.
you'd have like Kenny Omega and Joey Janela like turn out a banger, like on a dark round, or like Takeshita, like just throwing people around for fun.
I was say, if you look at the roster though, how many came from Dark? There's fucking shitloads.
You've
been
so
loads of the talent.
And that's why I literally saw Willow's first match. I saw Sky Blue's first match. I saw Anthony Bowens', Max Caster's. So many people that I actually watched start off and thought, oh, they're all right. They're quite funny. Then after 3 or 4 matches, I'm like, I actually feel an affiliation with these people, especially with Willow. I love Willow. From the first time I saw her just running around like a nutter, I thought, oh, she's fucking great. And to see her now be where she is.
The Outrunners. The Outrunners were on Dark, man. Fucking February 2023, I seen them on Dark. I was like, these guys are fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
but like it would be different this time though, because if they do go back to what the plan was before Collision, which was we're going to just film in Universal Studios and we're going to do Ring of Honor tapings and Dark tapings, that takes away what they had previously, where Dark was always a case of we're in whatever town we're in, and we'll use local indie talent against some of our guys to get the wins and loss records up, and then that's where they seen that's when they seen Will Hobbs was a local indie talent. Like Willow Nightingale was local indie talent, and that's where you found these guys. If you're just in Orlando every week, it's going to be harder to find some of the really good indie talent that's going to be in various states that you're not traveling to and doing Dark.
You'll burn through like the local, the jobbers like really, really quickly. You'll burn through them all, and then before long, like nobody will care. Keeping it from town to town is the right move. Yeah.
Al Snow's probably rubbing his hands together, but that's about it, to be honest. Because No, but it's hopefully that would be good. Anyway, if they do that, because I used to love Dark.
Oh, same here.
And Daddy Magic on commentary. Fucking give me that every week.
More of that. He was a good fill-in for Nigel. Was it him, Tony, and Ian on Collision this week? I haven't watched it all.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It'd be interesting. He's just natural.
It'd be interesting to see what happens with Nigel now next week.
Yeah.
Because did he say thank you or did he say fuck you? I think he said thank you.
He said thank you.
Yeah, it was like I've done what I wanted. Thank you. You gave me the match. Thank you. I still think he's going to hate Bryan Danielson, but I'm sticking to this. Another one where I'm sticking to the landing on this, like Tony Khan when a wrestler gets injured and he keeps the belt on Jade for 200 years. I'm sticking to the landing. I'm fucking not budging. He's gonna step in and he's gonna help Bryan Danielson at some point.
I think he would as well. I think you're onto something there. To be fair, I think it makes sense because Danielson needs someone. He's going to need someone on his side. He's going
to need a lot of people on his side.
Yeah,
that's it.
On this Mox thing, but by the way, guys, how funny is it that like on 2 occasions when storylines have gone wayward for whatever reason, the Blackpool Combat Club bunch of guys have stepped in and fucking kind of replaced what was missing, like because we had it with Punk, because Punk versus the Elite was what everyone wanted to see, and then Bryan Danielson stepped into that role when Punk got the boot or wouldn't work with them, and did his whole you're a bunch of amateurs working with kids, and it was the Blackpool Combat Club basically taking what Punk's side would have been against the Elite, and then now with them completely fucking shit in the bed with what would have been a great Elite taking over the company storyline, because they did nothing with it after a month. It looks like this is Mox now taking over. I'm taking over. This is not your company anymore. It looks like Mox is now kind of trying to, fix this issue, if you like, and be what the Elite should have been when they were doing this.
They've got such a good chance here. They're building up factions all over the place here now. They've got a real chance to make this something fucking great. They need to execute this well because they can. And like it could be factions left, right, and centre all over the place here, and I'm all over that. I love that kind of stuff. I think it adds so many matches you can have on a weekly basis that we care about when you're building up to like multi-man matches beforehand. That they need to execute. This is really important for the next 6 months or so, that they build such big intrigue and because they can make this must-watch TV now. It's a really important few weeks to establish these groups now. The Hurt Syndicate. Whatever happens with Don Callis and co, whoever he builds in, the Elite are still there, obviously, and then obviously Moxley and co, and then whoever sides with Danielson to help him out. So I think this is a really, really important few weeks for the company.
I was just going to say, I think AEW has always been quite faction heavy. Like they've always kind of had that ethos, but this feels like a lot more concentrated. Like in the past,
main event faction heavy now instead of just being all over the place, which I'm not against. I still enjoyed it, but it feels like this is main event faction heavy now. This is
100%,
exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of factions, then here's one for you. Now we've got, or seemingly got, the start of our first women's faction. We'll forget about any previous incarnations of women's factions because they were shite. Brandy Rhodes, fuck off. But now we've seemingly got this women's faction with Deonna. Who's gonna be a kind of rival faction? Who would you go for there to face whatever group Deonna puts together with her and Taya at the moment?
I think they need to build it up a bit more first, because they're sort of doing this whole thing where Deonna's like this artist and this sort of visionary, and Taya's sort of along for the ride. And yeah, it's a great role for her. And they can really produce some magic. But personally, if I was to add someone to the ranks, it would be Britt, because Britt and Deonna are like real good friends. Like, they're not shy about that kind of stuff. And I think it would do. Britt personally, I prefer her as a heel. I think
that's where all the strengths are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think she'd be a good addition. But as for an opposition, I'd love to see Jamie versus Deonna, and whoever she assembles. Maybe Willow's tied up with Mariah at the moment. I think there's going to be some kind of story brewing there, but. You can't have Stat. She's a heel. This again is the problem. There's not enough baby faces, isn't there?
I know. Yeah, it's an issue at the moment. It really is.
I'd love to see Jamie and Deonna. Like their paths haven't crossed yet, as far as I know. So, I'd be bang up for that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because the story, the story on the word on the street, if you like, is that it's going to be some kind of mafia style faction, to play on the Deonna's kind of character. So
it's going to be people that conform to stereotypes, essentially. Then.
Yeah,
so I'm not
essentially,
sure
yeah. But I don't know who she'd go against. I don't know. I haven't even thought about it myself, to be honest. Who would be a good rival faction?
I mean, who the fuck are the faces? You've got Willow. You've got
That's what we were saying earlier. We don't have any. We don't have any.
Tony Storm, yes. She's going to need something big to do, and they're going to use Anna Jay a lot now. Anna Jay's going to get a decent push now, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Her match on Rampage was, you can tell that the Stardom tour has really helped her. So
her footwork and everything and positioning was great. Yeah, it was a lot different.
Much better. Yeah, footwork is it's massively a thing. Like, I didn't really realize it until someone brought it up. But yeah, you can really tell. Like, she's much more comfortable. So yeah, I really hope to see her get a bit of a push. Like, it would do her good, because again, she's a young talent who could lead the women's division in the next 10 years or so.
She needs to be a face now, because again, there's such a lack of them in that division at the moment. They might as well give her the ball again. I think she probably is someone who probably is more suited to being a heel, like a bit of a self-righteous heel. But I think again, with the lack of people, until Sky Blue comes back, if she's even a face, I mean Thunder Rosa as well. We're forgetting Thunder Rosa, because we shouldn't forget her really. And she's
injured though, isn't she? That's the problem.
Really?
Yeah, she went mad the other day because someone had reported that she was fit again training, and she was like, "No, I'm not." She said, "Why are you reporting this shit? It's just fucking lies."
Another one we forgot.
Mercedes got a concussion as well, isn't there?
Who? Is there?
Mercedes, yeah.
Oh, that's what she's been then.
It's why she hasn't been.
Oh, in the Sheeda match, because Sheeda was a bit heavy at times, wasn't she?
Oh, she cracked it, didn't she? Actually, at one point.
Oh, right. Maybe they're just playing it safe. But no, she's been doing media and stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah, Tony brought her out, didn't he, after the show, just to wait for everyone to go slam. But you can do that with anyway, concussion. Anyway, what? I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I don't believe in concussions.
Who are you, Stone Cold? No, another one we forgot. Sorry, just to throw in another one we forgot as a possible opponent to Deonna. Is Julia Hart. She's got to be ready to return soonish, isn't she?
She's going to Ring of Honor though, apparently, isn't she, for a bit?
I don't know whether there was anything to that, because all they did was, if you remember, all they did was tweet a graphic of her with a red background, and it wasn't a Ring of Honor background. And Ring of Honor just did a emoji eyes on it, whatever, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, she's going to Ring of Honor." I don't see how she can go to Ring of Honor, because the House of Black aren't going to Ring of Honor, and she's a big part of the House of Black. You can't just I don't think it would work. It'd be like fucking saying to Pac, "You're in Ring of Honor now, lad, even though you're in this group with Moxley and that." It wouldn't work. You have to be on the same brand, don't you? Really? So I don't know. I don't think she is. I think she's come back. But like, it's another one. She was a heel, but the House of Black seemingly we just accepted that the faces now. Like how because we have that we have that little possibilities in terms of face opponents for anyone that we've just overnight more or less turned House of Black and the Bullet Club face just because we needed to.
We need faces. That's it.
Yeah, it was like they just came out one day. It's like, oh yeah, shit, these are good guys. And I was like, hang on.
Well,
what?
I think the Bullet Club, like Bullet Club Gold, they seemingly turned face because the patriarchy were targeting them, and then suddenly, just by proxy, they were the faces, and in a heel v heel feud, and then they just sort of stuck with it.
It was the same with House of Black though as well. That was how it was like. We should basically just send Christine around turning everyone face.
That's it.
Very quickly, I've just realised. Just looking ahead, I was just looking at I was looking at attendances and whatnot. Next couple, there's only 3 shows left until WrestleDream, and
I know we were saying that before. It's mad. It's fucking stupid.
It's so quick.
Yeah. And it's like we've bigged up just how good they've got at building pay-per-views. Oh, this year they've been so much better than the last couple of years. But fuck me, this is atrocious. Fucking less than 2 weeks left.
I can't even think of what's going to be like happening.
We're going to get Danielson Moxley, obviously. We're going to get Mariah Maybe Mina either soon.
Yeah.
After that, Okada Takeshita.
I think we get Swerve and not Swerve. Fucking. I think we get Ospreay and Ricochet.
Again.
Yeah, I think we get a rematch of from whatever the fallout is of this.
I think we're going to get Swerve Lashley.
Or we might get
I'd rather Swerve fucking Shelton Benjamin, to be fair.
We might. Do you think Swerve turns up tomorrow then?
No, but I think Lashley turns up, and then Nana promises he'll get Swerve to be there, and then we don't see Swerve until actual WrestleDream, and he returns on the show for the match.
I think
he's in his hometown. He's going to be on the card. It's his hometown.
So you got to think Darby's got to be in there somewhere. I don't know what they do with Darby. Maybe depends what they book it. Is he going to fight like Pac or something like that? But they're Pac's trios champions.
Yeah, you would think they're going to have to do something with the trios with what's going on with Wheeler Yuta, because that's surely going to play into whatever the
trios look like. It's going to be Private Party and Commander, doesn't it?
But they had that match on Collision, didn't they?
Yeah.
No interest.
Yeah, thank God.
No, I personally, if it was up to me, put the Blackpool Combat Club against the House of Black. Just have that trios match. It
wouldn't surprise me if Wheeler leaves them tomorrow or something, and we get Claudio v Wheeler or something. There's a lot of things they can do. They need to hurry the fuck up.
I would go with what you just said, House of Black, but I would have them win. I would have it be due to Wheeler just maybe fucking off for them leaving Wheeler to.
That would make sense, yeah.
To death or something, because they need to get the belts off him. Because if Wheeler's going, unless we're all being sent the wrong way here and Wheeler beats the shit out of Bryan Danielson,
which isn't impossible, and I'm open to it.
Yeah.
But I think if they do that, it's going to stunt like the crowd reactions he's getting. He's having him as a heel.
True. That's the point. Yeah,
he now's the time to really kind of strap the rocket to him a little bit and make him like a powerful baby face.
He gets some insane heat, though, wouldn't he?
Well, yeah, he would, but I don't know.
It's a moment over a long-term story there a bit, isn't it? It's an amazing moment, but it definitely takes away from Wheelie, because if he turns heel again now, he's a shit heel. His character's been, being honest, a bit crap a lot of the time. He's been in AEW, in my opinion. This is the first time I'm invested in him. So I think and I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling similarly to that. So I think this is a chance now to see where they can go with him.
I've got one here, right? I've got a message for Tony Khan. I'll clip this just in case you don't listen to the show, but I think you probably do. Timecop is your favorite film. I agree. It's fucking amazing. Van Damme is a legend. It's one of the best films of all time. But regardless, what you need to do is we need the Young Bucks to come out and be so confident, bragging about how that no one can touch him. The belts are theirs. They've shown that they're not washed. They're still the best tag team in the world. Pump up the trainers a little bit, all that kind of shite. And they need to say, open challenge, anyone. And the Outrunners music.
Yeah.
And they need to say the Outrunners need to beat them with the help of FTR.
Yeah.
FTR help them. Outrunners beat them. Young Bucks are fucking going ballistic, so they want a rematch, and they'll put the titles online at WrestleDream. Do it. Get it on the fucking Outrunners, and then FTR can beat them a week later and be the biggest fucking heels in the fucking company.
For me, it's Outrunners win it at WrestleDream. The thing is, they need to see, because again, they need them on TV this week. I think they've left it a bit too late for WrestleDream now. I think it might actually have to be a full gear thing, that they get the tag titles then FTR turn on them within a week or so, beat the living shit out of them, and then probably beat them at World's End.
Just they need to just do it, because like the momentum needs. I don't know if you guys, like, not only did they do the Talk as Jericho and they were funny as fuck, they then did the AEW podcast with Aubrey and Will Washington, and again they were funny as fuck. They're brilliant, and they can go in the ring. They're getting great crowd reactions. The merch is fucking selling great, doing great numbers. Just do it.
Yeah.
Bucks come out. The Bucks start talking shit. Outrunners music hits. Just fucking do it. That would be amazing.
I do think we're very, very soon getting the Golden Lovers coming back, to be honest, because they've been teasing it all over, and usually when they do this, there's a reason, and I think we're getting the gold. I'm dying on this hill. I think we're getting the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks at WrestleDream.
I don't know about Wrestle. Maybe actually that does make sense. But do it for
that feud doesn't need to be for the tag titles.
Yeah, it doesn't need it at all.
Outrunners beat the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks feud with the Golden Lovers. FTR turn heel on the Outrunners. FTR win the tag titles off of them, and then say at Revolution, Golden Lovers can win the tag titles off of FTR then.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
And then the Outrunners can slowly start to build back up and beat everybody, because at this point everyone's realised just how good they are.
Oh yeah, fully.
We'll all be meat spinning all over the shop.
Speaking of the Outrunners, we actually have had a question about the Outrunners, or alluding to them at least, from Sferal Toast. Big up, my boy. The Outrunners are the best gimmick on TV. Can't disagree with that. What classic gimmicks do you guys love or would like to see referenced by modern wrestlers?
The thing is, the Outrunners kind of cover so many of those. They sort of cover the Ultimate Warrior. They sort of cover the Fabulous Rougeaus for me, even though they don't. They do in my head for some reason. I can't. I just always think WWE late 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of at the moment. Do you know what? I know. I've got one. Luther as Repo Man.
That made Simon Bennett very happy.
Target for Simon. He'd fucking love that. He loves the Repo Man. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I saw a great tweet the other day, to be fair, though, was FTR, the Outrunners, and Grizzled Young Veterans all have the same gimmick, but not at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it's all the same, but they're not.
Who would I go for?
Who's more as Mantor? God, no, I'm gonna. I hate the sound of that.
Do you know what? In 2024, you could do something like a modern day version of Rick the Model Martel. That could work with something, that kind of arrogance.
Yeah, Tony Nese is kind of doing that. No, sorry, I'm thinking of Rick Rude. My mistake. Ignore that.
Tony Nese is fucking great, man.
He is, but he's doing Rick Rude stuff, isn't he? Let's be honest.
What would I? I'm trying to think. I am trying to think of that era. What I'd like to see, like the first, like it's hard because some of these people have already done old gimmicks. Fucking, back in the old days, you'd have like Nazi wrestlers, and Hulk Hogan's done that gimmick to death. So who else is there?
One Man Gang. That was a gimmick that they should have done more with. Great name, One Man Gang.
I keep going back to like Randy Savage. Like that's the go-to gimmick I think of from the 80s, and then Jay Lethal's already done that. And like, I don't think anybody else could do a good enough job, to be honest.
No. Well, to be fair though, MJF's doing all the old gimmicks I liked anyway. All rolled into.
He's doing Flair, isn't he, all the time anyway?
He's doing Flair and Piper in one, and he's doing it as good as they did it. Which
I will say AEW TV misses MJF. You can see it when he's not on it.
Losing him and Swerve at the same time was noticeable. Yeah. When you've also obviously not got Omega, when you've not got Mercedes. I know her promos aren't great, but still, she's still star power. There's a lot of star power not on TV at the moment.
It's a
lot.
This is going to be the thing. It's like we're getting so many guys and girls getting close to returning now. We've got like Adam Cole, we've got Jay White, we've got Copeland probably pretty soon. We've got Davis hopefully soon.
So many people
and
who forget they're out injured.
Exactly, yeah. It's hard to, and then you think of like obviously people who you care less about, like Wardlow who's injured, but
There's
care
still
whether he.
Eddie Kingston's off TV at the moment. Keith Lee's off TV at the moment. I mean, you've got Trent, Ortiz, Miro, The Blade, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ibushi, Omega. It's
Yeah, exactly. Golden Lovers, yeah.
It's mad.
Maybe 3 hours of TV isn't a bad idea. You know, you need to keep all these guys on TV, innit?
But if they actually are gonna, if Shockwave, like, I'll
Samoa
be
Joe
honest,
as well.
yeah, for real, yeah, it would very much surprise me if Fox want 1 hour of TV a week. Surely they're going to want 2.
Yeah,
That gives you that's 6 hours a week.
yeah.
That's enough.
I've thought of one on the Modern Wrestlers. How about if you had Adam Copeland and Christian Cage as Edge and Christian? I'd do that. That'd be
Do that, yeah. I still think we're getting them as tag champs eventually.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I think the injury just derailed that a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know because of the way things have transpired, but maybe it was actually Khan did pivot quite well, but with everything with Christian. But I really thought we were going to get the Bucks to be Edge and Christian at Wembley.
I think that's what they were going to lead to. I think
Yeah.
that's really honestly what they had, and they had to pivot because of Copeland injuring himself in the cage match.
Yeah, I thought Copeland was going to turn heel. I thought that's where the whole Malachi Black stuff was going, and that would have obviously been the perfect point for Christian to kind of like say, look,
breaks him into the family. Yeah.
Now you see where I am. Now you see where I am. Because you can't turn Christian face. It's not happening.
No.
Exactly.
I miss Adam Copeland, man. He's been so good since he came in. I didn't expect it either.
Honestly, yeah. I was thinking, okay, well, because his first match with Luchasaurus was okay, and nothing to write home about. And then gradually, you know, he got better and better, and you could see he was actually like loving it. You could just see how enthusiastic he was, loving to work. Yeah, he would usually win. Just, you know, fine. You know, he's a star. You know, he's okay to, you know, not lose that often, but still he's there for the young guys, and seeing him like hook up with like Swerve and like MJF and Jay White and that match with Suzuki as well, you know, just again he's probably had Malachi Black's best match in AEW, I would say.
I think so.
Singles match, definitely, yeah.
I think so, definitely. He was loving it though as well. You could see that he was really enjoying what he was doing. He wasn't like kind of like some of these guys just turn up and it's just, you know, more of the same. He was actually fucking really loving it.
Yeah, he was doing stuff. Yeah. Someone his age, like moving like he was quite extraordinary. Like,
yeah, he was fully rejuvenated, wasn't he? Like mentally, kind of, like it was like, this is, you know, and as he said himself, you know, he had it taken away from him for so long that he wasn't going to let this, you know, pass him by. He wants to make it last as long as he can now.
It was also he was getting the opportunity to probably express himself in the ring for the most he had since probably like the SmackDown 2003 time when they were putting on bangers. Because then after that, obviously the style became a lot more obviously wound down a couple of years after that, and so he's probably getting the chance to go out there and actually have more fun now than he has for probably 2 decades.
Definitely.
He actually said that, didn't he? In his with his Swerve podcast interview, he said to say basically what you've just said. You know, he's having the most fun he's had in years.
And that pisses people off, of course. How dare you have fun? How dare you have fun?
How dare you make the decision whether you are having fun or not? We should be making that decision.
I will tell you. Fuck you. I will tell you if you're having fun.
You can't have fun when there's empty seats on the hardcam side. Come on, guys.
So here's a light-hearted one. So I love Copeland's entrance music. Like, it's one of the best songs in wrestling at the moment. But we have had a question which is based on that. So from GWalk87 on our Discord, if you had to pick a song to use for your entrance music that isn't currently used, which would you pick?
If say that again, what if any song?
Yeah, if you had to pick any song for your entrance music, that's
I know what mine would be. Mine would be what I play in the gym all the time when I'm in the gym on my own now, and it's what I play all the time when I walk around like I'm making an entrance. But it's Primal Scream, Swat Sticker Eyes.
Ooh!
If anyone knows that song, I fucking love it. Again, the lyrics aren't anywhere near as controversial as they obviously sound because it's Primal Scream. It's very anti-Nazis. But I just fucking love that song. I love the song so much. It would be that or Hudson Mohawk Black Cherry, if anyone knows that.
I don't know that one, to be honest.
I reckon if you heard it, it's an instrumental beat. There's no lyrics on it. It's the kind of song if you heard it, you're like, oh yeah, I've heard it on like a video recap of something or something down the lines. It's quite a wellish known bit of music. Yeah, they would be my choices without a doubt.
For me, it would probably be, I don't know if you, Andy, I know you're into your metal, but I don't know if you've heard of this band, a band called Malevolence. They're probably one of my favorite bands at the moment. Like kind of sludgy, like Pantera, Crowbar kind of stuff. They have a song called Serpent's Chokehold, and that to me gets me so hyped every single time.
Serpent's Chokehold?
Yeah. I'd recommend if you want some quiet listening to send you off to sleep tonight, I'd recommend giving it a listen. Yeah, that'd be mine. But there's probably I could probably think of another 10, but that's the one that springs to mind. But yeah, it changes every day. To be honest, I do think confession. Like I do think about this kind of question a lot. Like if I was
way too much
great entrance music, yeah. I'm playing it in the gym or whatever. I just hear like, yeah, fuck me, yeah, this would go so hard as an entrance theme. Like, 'cause I know like Rampage Brown like used to come out to like Hatebreed and stuff like that. I'm really into them. I feel like that's a bit of a cop out, but yeah, Malevolence is my choice because I don't think anyone's used it yet.
It's a practical question though as well, because like, well, you may never use it as an entrance music to a ring for wrestling. You could use it as an entrance music to the church for your funeral.
Oh, fully.
I already know what songs are being played at my funeral. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So like for me, I like sorry, Dav, I'll just jump ahead because on that, like mine would be Highway to Hell, and I would like to think it would be played at my funeral as well. I would completely rip off Angus Young's entrance with the cultivator and come up from the ground with the horns on as his music kicks in. Smoke, guitar around me neck, and that's what I would do. I'd do a Jericho every for every match, and I'd like literally play it to the ring. And yeah, that would be what it was. Obviously, I couldn't do that if I'm dead. So in that case, I would like someone else to play it while the coffin's being taken. Either that or Airborne Running Wild. I think that'd be a cracking entrance music. Though.
Before Dav goes, that's one thing. When I die, I want Kasabian Fire to be playing, and on the last chorus drop, I want my coffin to go up in flames. That's how I want to go out.
Yeah, that'd be good.
See, for me, like I'd always envisioned like my funeral, like I just as a joke, just like play the Undertaker's theme song and then have my casket raise.
But you're not giving people false hope you're going to just turn up then and return from the dead.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want, just to give them false hope and then just be like, yeah, sorry, lads.
Well, this is taking a wonderfully dark turn. Dav, cheer us up with your song, please.
I can't even think, lads. Like generally.
Oh, for fuck's sake! We were building up to that, and you've got nothing.
Come on,
for fuck's sake!
There's got to be something.
If you don't come up with one, I'll use AI to generate you saying I'm a real American. So you're gonna have to come up with something.
Can't even think, boys.
That's it. Dan,
what's your favorite? What's your favorite song? Like in the world, like if you had to pick like your favorite song.
It changes.
Agadoo. He said Agadoo.
All right, that means you'll get in Dancing Queen by ABBA. We'll put that as your answer.
I'd take that,
Really.
Mamma Mia,
Actually, the crowd would be going crazy for that.
Yeah, get them warmed up.
You'd have to dance though, unlike that. Yeah, no, that'd be too similar to fucking that Brick, wouldn't it? The John Travolta ripoff. Yeah, you don't want to be out like that. Fucking Disco Inferno. Glenn, the fellow with shit on his nose.
Oh, yeah. I forgot who he was for a second, and I was happier. I was happier when I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, the man who ripped off John Travolta's gimmick, and actually had worse results than John Travolta with his fucking Scientology movie.
It's such a shame that he's named after a banger of a song by Tina Turner.
Who fucking Glenn Gilberti? What song is that?
Yeah. Well, it's a B-side. I think it's on like one of the demo tapes only released in Japan. Sorry, I made myself laugh. Sorry, crickets.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no one's ever heard that cunt. Yeah. What was it? Eddie Kingston said the story he heard was that the only reason they kept him round was to take the piss out of him, and the biggest laugh they ever had was when Big Show farted in his face.
think that was Cody. I think that was Cody. You know,
It was Cody. It was Cody that said that. I'm sure it was. Yeah.
Cody went in him, yeah. Cody went like,
yeah. Stop!
full
You have
massive
drawn
tweet.
$0. Nobody has left a show thinking about you. It's true though. Where's the
course it
lie?
is.
Where's the
Coleman's
lie? Shout out Bobby
great
Fish.
anyway.
I always like it when there's people defending him going, he was on a show that did 5 million viewers.
I know,
Like, no
yeah.
one was tuning in for fucking Disco Inferno, were they?
When the show ended, everyone who was decent to people tuned in for fucked off to WWE. Disco Inferno didn't work again.
No, yeah. And they were taking fucking Sean Stasiak, and they still didn't take you.
They took fucking Buff Bagwell until he fucking started acting a dick, but they wouldn't touch
Buff
Disco
Bagwell.
Inferno.
They took Buff Bagwell, put him in the main event, realised, wow, this guy can't wrestle, and he was just finished, wasn't he?
That story is fucking well hashed up when you hear him tell it, like that he basically gave up his guaranteed $1 million contract because they said we were going to sign him, and then he gave it up, went to them, wrestled a match, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we're not signing you." Sorry.
Yeah. Apparently, it was also because his mum kept calling the company and asking about him, and then they were there. Yeah, we're getting with this. Yeah, you can go on your bike, mate.
Was that when she was on the pole?
Could you imagine Vince McMahon dealing with someone's mum calling up, like the way that cunt was? Like just the sheer disgust he would have in an employee that his mum was calling on his behalf.
Oh no, they don't have employees; they have independent contractors.
Yeah. Independent contractors, yeah.
Oh, you know that when even Vince doesn't want you, then you know something's wrong.
He kept the fucking mids for fuck's sake. Like,
oh, can we? Yeah, I have to admit, like your tweet, like really tickled me when that fucking prick about wrote the essay again about Kenny Omega, and you just absolutely just summed it all up.
I can't believe we didn't talk about the essay. Like, what the fuck, man? Someone's writing an essay about Kenny Omega being shit. Fuck off. Go and fucking.
I didn't actually read his essay before. Was he saying that Kenny was shite?
He basically did what he did with the Osprey thing, where he kind of just wrote so many words to try and convince the world that he's a genius. And if you don't read it, it's because you're illiterate or you're not even going to spend the time to understand his feelings. Fuck off. It's Kenny Omega, you prick. Fucking Kurt Angle said Kenny Omega's probably the fucking best of all time. Like, who the fuck? Some dude with a fucking essay in his ma's fucking basement. Fucking, fuck off.
His Osprey tweet clearly banged, so he's thought, I know, I'll rattle that fan base again by doing the Omega tweet.
Yeah. He's some lad who's actually, from what I can gather, a young lad who's just obsessed with old wrestling and thinks that all modern wrestling is not as good as old wrestling because it's too fast. It's not so. I'm sorry, if you watch some old wrestling, it looks fucking dog shit. It's not selling better just because it's slower. And this whole thing about and like they were bitching, weren't they, about fucking that sequence in midweek in the tag match with Osprey getting up and hitting the hidden blade and being fucked. Adrenaline. Has nobody ever heard of this? There's no.
It's also fighting spirit in New Japan. Like it's very, very like pivotal to how the matches work in Japan. Like fighting spirit is like a really pivotal thing. And Osprey spent a lot of time in Japan, so it kind of fits with his character. So yeah, shut up.
And it's fucking real life though. Like they go, oh, you wouldn't see that in MMA. You fucking see it in MMA every fucking week. It's actually one of the most famous clips of all time was fucking Fedor getting slammed on his head because someone was going, oh, someone wouldn't get slammed on their head and then get back up. Fedor got fucking slammed on his head and fucking literally suplexed onto his neck and then fucking tapped out Kevin Randall with a fucking armbar about fucking 10 seconds later. Fucking bellends. Oh, honestly,
people shouldn't be allowed computers.
I just want to poke these cunts in the eye and boot them in the balls like MJF.
Well,
they're only complaining because it's the 3 letters of the company. It depends where the matches take place, doesn't it?
100%.
That's all it is.
Because if Ilja does it, oh, it's fucking phenomenal. Some random cunt we've never heard of on NXT does it. Oh my god, this is fucking cinema.
Ethan Page is living too recklessly, though. Be real.
Holy fuck, Ethan Page.
Yeah, fucking Joe Hendry getting fucking. What about Joe Hendry getting a fucking title shot in TNA, man? I thought that company was finished. Didn't realise it gone that bad.
He's dropped off a cliff, Joe Henry, hasn't he?
He always was good.
Was all anyone was talking about.
He always was going to, and I think that's the worry you have with the Outrunners, isn't it? And pushing them too much. I mean, I do see the both sides to it. Is that like you could push them too much and people just get tired of it. But I think the Outrunners they've been around for longer. You know, they've been gaining momentum for a lot longer. Page, he seemed than Joe Hendry. He seemed to just come and go within the space of a month.
The Outrunners at least have a gimmick. Hendry's literally theme song and then nothing else.
Looking at turning around and looking at the camera. That's it. That's his whole fucking thing. Fair play to the fella. Like, you know, he's put the work in. He's got over. You know, he's probably made a lot of money from it. Nice one. He's still fucking shit though.
Just before, have you seen the Sean Watch Saps tweet there? Luchasaurus was hospitalised with pneumonia in both of his lungs at the weekend.
Oh,
he was found collapsed and rushed to hospital. So,
oh my god!
Look, man, I hope he's all right. Like, fucking best wishes.
Speedy recovery to Luchasaurus.
Yeah, we fucking love you, Luchasaurus.
Terrible.
Man.
No, I hope he's all right. Man, sad. Wow.
That's a shit fucking ending, man.
Yeah.
We should have ended 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Best wishes to Luchasaurus, but anyway. So that's going to do it this week on the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We hope you're all well, stay safe, and obviously remember, it's wrestling. It's not that serious. Have a good week.
Fuck the Miz.